10, 11, 12. Time to send them back to hell. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Demon time is what they are. When I be on that demon time, sanity it leaves my mind. Then I'm feeling lost again, and I'm really hard to find. All I know is get the guap, get the bread, I'm catching bites. Girl trying to short me now, that shit is dead, it's afterlife. I told you what it was. Peace and love, peace and love. This is yours truly, General Pow Shadowz of the House of Hip Step. Yo, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I hope everybody's having a good week so far. You never know when you're gonna catch me. You never know when I'm gonna come on here and drop some jewels and drop some gems. You know, I like to keep people guessing. You know, that's just what I like to do. If you know me, you know that's how I am. I like to keep the people guessing. And yo, right now this is a special podcast that I'm doing because I'm celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop, yo. Word is born, the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I'm celebrating right now in this video, and you know I'm also showing you the connection between hip hop and the N-word, right? Because I'm also promoting my book, right? NGR, what does it mean? And I'm going to be talking about some information that's in my book related to hip-hop, right? In this 50th anniversary of hip-hop. And, you know, we got to give props out to DJ Kool Herc, you know, who, and we not just DJ Kool Herc, but also who? Cindy Campbell, right? Who, you know, who helped give birth to this beautiful culture that we call hip-hop today. What happened? August 11, 1973, South Bronx, New York City. What happened? Right, Cindy went to her big bro, Kool Herc, her big brother, right, and said, hey, can you please DJ my party? You know? And we know the story. You know, they're telling it all over the media right now, on all the social media platforms, on all the news websites, about the history of hip-hop and how it came to be what we know it to be today. And DJ Kool Herc doing, after Cindy, the first lady of hip-hop, gave her big bro the directive to do the party, he DJ'd, but he decided that he would premiere his merry-go-round style, his breakbeat style of playing and extending the break beat on the record, right? Because what, the B-boys would lose it, the B-boys and the B-girls would go crazy, everybody would start dancing because everybody loved the break beat, right? And that's how hip-hop came to be, and it's all out there. You can get more information on that. But, you know, I wanted to shout out hip hop on its 50th anniversary, but you know, I want to also show you how hip hop is connected to the N-word, right? And if you look in my book, for those of you who have a copy, you could turn and follow to it right now. You can get your book, your copy that you have, and turn to page 66, or you can just read along with me right now. Listen, and when you get a chance, check it out. Get the copy. It's available on Amazon right now. It's called NGR, What Does It Mean? And it's an expose on the N-word from a hip-hop perspective, available on Amazon in paperback, like this, Kindle, the ebook, or also the audiobook. The audiobook is available too. So let's read the excerpt from my book right now on page 66. And it's called, a section called The N-word in Hip-Hop. I honestly can't tell you when I first heard the N-word or nigga, but if I had to guess, I'm sure it was from one of my family members. I severely strained my brain trying to remember that first time. My earliest memories are from the projects. Shout out to City Coat and East Lake Courts, Chattanooga, Tennessee, when my mother was a young woman trying to survive and figure things out, at least from a son's perspective. She did eventually move us into nicer spaces through hard work and endurance. In East Lake, I can recall hearing the N-word daily from friends. Although I can't remember my first time using the N-word as a term of endearment, I can remember the day I used my first curse word. Let's say I didn't hold back. LOL. I would say that I was most likely desensitized to the N-word because I can guarantee I heard it in the womb. When I heard the N-word in a hip-hop song, I was already using it comfortably as a regular part of my vocabulary, so I can't remember the first time I heard it in a song. I was practically raised on the music from the Def Jam recording label. My lyrical idol is LL Cool J. He is why I began rapping, and he's an MC who doesn't lean on the N-word in his lyrics. I was very young when his song Radio dropped and barely had any favorite songs of any genre. My grandmother brought my cousin and me boom boxes for Christmas one year. My first cassette was by the Fat Boys. It was the Fat Boys Are Back album. I don't recall using the N-word in any form on that album. I'm going off memory on that, but I'm somewhat sure they didn't, and I don't recall the Fat Boys using profanity in their music. Now, that's an excerpt from the book, but what I want to highlight there is what I was talking about, and I want to get straight to it. You know, in the music in the era of hip hop in the 80s, the mid 80s, and coming into the 90s, in the early 90s, rappers did not really use the N word in their lyrics, and they really didn't use a lot of profanity. If they did, it was like real specific, and it had a point to it, and it wasn't like they was using it like it was going out of style or using it for shock value. But now it's like the cuss words, I don't even appreciate it in the hip hop. Like, I don't even appreciate a lot of these gangster lyrics that these guys got because it has no point. What's the point? And, you know, that's what I was making a point about in the book with that section. The Fat Boys, LL Cool J, I respect them and I honor them still to this day because these are artists that didn't have to use the N-word, didn't have to cuss a lot in their songs. And it was a good impression on me as a child because I did hear curse words a lot, but you know, it came later with the groups, you know, and it wasn't something that early on that I heard like young in the music, and it came like later, and it was a natural progression of things, but it was all in entertainment because at the same time, hip hop was becoming more vulgar. People forget that also the entertainment industry as a whole was becoming more vulgar because we had Delirious and Raw, where we had people like Eddie Murphy, who for the first time are coming and doing a stand-up act and using the most profanity and dropping the N-word, to where if you know the history of Eddie Murphy in the comedy industry, you know that Bill Cosby gave Eddie Murphy a call after Delirious, the same way that Oprah gave Eddie Murphy a call, or gave Dave Chappelle a call, or supposedly, supposedly, excuse me, I want to get my facts right. Supposedly, Dave Chappelle got a call from some people in the industry, like Oprah. Not sure if it was her specifically, but people with power in the entertainment realm, supposedly, and got chastised about misrepresenting black and indigenous people by using the N-word in their comedy and their hip-hop routines. And this has been a very controversial issue just within the hip-hop and comedy communities. and usage of the N word. Um, and right now, what we see is over use of the N word, overuse of profanity, and that's a sharp contrast from the artists that we used to have back in the day, like the Fat Boys, like LL Cool J. Um, and what we want to do is we want to highlight the MCs of today, like Kendrick, like um, um, MF Doom, and artists like him, and who may curse, but they don't lean on profanity. They don't have to like uh, glorify and perpetuate, or you know, just continually use degrading terms, and not just the N word, but a lot of various just foul language in order to get their point across to people. So I salute all those artists, and I just want to encourage any artist that's out there that may be young watching this. You know what I'm saying? I just want to encourage you to, you know, think about like how hip hop, like I was talking to my cousin about this earlier. Remember that hip hop was first created to help get you off of the streets. It wasn't created to put you back on the streets and drive you into the drugs and drive you into violence. Originally, hip hop was created to get you off the streets, fam. It was created to help you have victory over the streets. Because, you know, like, you got to understand why we don't want you to be whack, fam. The reason that we don't want you to be whack is because all that comes back 360 degrees is karma. Karma is 360 degrees. And this planet is 360 degrees of a circle. This planet is a circle. Your body has a circulatory system. Your eyes and pupils are a circle. Your mouth is a circle. Your nostrils are a circle. And your ears are circles. Your nipples are circles. You have a circle at the tip of your reproductive organ. Your navel is a circle. Life is a circle. And all this talking and all this profanity is coming back to haunt us. It's coming back to haunt us. Because what's happened now is, now we think that it didn't matter about all the violence that they were using in the music. But what we didn't realize is that now that violence is being turned against us for people to say, hey, hip hop is unhealthy. Hip hop is not good for us. And the reason that you shouldn't be whack is that you should build your skills. And hip hop was intended for you to be perfect at what you do, to be good at what you do, not mediocre, not you playing around with it so that you could get paid. Because what happened is, just as Earth is 360 degrees, now these people are not good, and these people have oversaturated hip hop, and they're devaluing it with the messages. But not only that, they are using the fact that hip hop has got a lot of black and indigenous people locked up, that hip hop has got a lot of people psychologically, they got, getting in trouble. It's a bad influence psychologically is what I'm trying to say. And these are the arguments that people are making. And, there's some truth to that, but these young guys are not, they're making it to where we who do hip hop are not going to have a viable source of income, because they're going to say, hey, we don't want to support hip hop because, you know, it promotes violence, and promotes, it's not good for my granddaughter to listen to, and promotes sex and drug use. And that's the price that we have to pay when these outlets and these platforms say, and these countries say, no more hip hop, because y'all just promote evil and negative themes. And that will be our punishment for supporting all that all these years, and not telling these rappers and these young guys, hey, you can't keep doing that, because eventually they're gonna use that as a reason to ban you and to stop you, from getting money. When the venues listen to all the venue owners, all hip hop is not like that. People like Pow Shadowz The General and many, many others, we celebrate real hip hop and positive themes, love, peace, unity, and having fun. And you can continue to book hip hop. And all hip hop does not celebrate violence. Remember, you still have artists out there who are pushing hip hop in a positive direction, pushing the youth in a positive direction, and teaching the youth how to have victory over the streets and not succumb to the streets like this music is teaching them today, to succumb to the streets and be a part of it and go to prison or get killed, get shot, have a colostomy bag, and that's your fate. This is yours truly, General Power Noli Shadows of the House of Hip Hop. The N word derives from NGR, and NGR comes from Africa or ancient Egypt, or what we know as Kemet. And it originally meant a positive term, something aggrandizing, something positive. NGR can be found in the hieroglyphics. According to E.A. Wallace Budge in his book, Egyptian Hieroglyphic Dictionary, there are over 14 definitions for the N word as we know it, as it was originated as NGR. Because in hieroglyphics they did not use vowels, they only used consonants. So NGR appears in the hieroglyphics, or the Meduneta, as the ancient Egyptians called it themselves, and it meant the N word in hieroglyphics, which appears as NGR, means emperor, king, or ruler. We can go to Ethiopia, which is just down the way, south of ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet, and you find the word Negus, Negus, and the word Negus means monarch, ruler, or emperor. So, as I point out in the book, and all these things I talk about in my book, NGR, what does it mean? Can be purchased on Amazon and paperback Kindle and audiobook. And is that what I'm saying is that the N word is something that began in Africa, created by the people we now call Africans, and the term meant something positive. And yes, it's connected to the word Niger in Nigeria, and it's all in the book just how it is connected, how the N word is connected to Niger and Nigeria. I talk about that in my book, NGR, what does it mean? And then I talk about how the Greeks and the Romans came and translated it, and the word Niger in Latin means black. And then, of course, the thing was taken into, translated into what we know today, which is Nigger, which means simply a contemptuous term for a black or African American person. So, in what we have today, the N word, according to word languages and other sources, the N word is the most offensive word in the English language. So take that and chew it. But yo, peace and love. Yours truly, General Pow Shadowz of the House of Hip Step. In the building once again. Just want to say, keep hip stepping. Get the book. It's available on Amazon right now. All right, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Time to sit.